Thank you very much for joining me and David Miller. He's one of our attorneys here at Rosenbaum Famularo, the law firm behind Amazon Seller's Lawyer. And we're going to be talking about intellectual property complaints, rights owner complaints, and why you should not leave these complaints lingering on your account. So David, get the ball rolling. What do Amazon sellers need to know about IP complaints that are on their account but didn't cause an account or even a listing suspension?
Right, so in general, when you get an IP complaint, some sellers, from what we understand, believe that if they just stop selling it, remove the listing, that it'll go away. But essentially, it doesn't resolve the issue. So pretty much what happens is when those complaints accumulate, we've noticed, especially in the last month or two, that outstanding IP complaints has caused suspensions.
Now, this is the worst time to have something from the last 3, 4, 6, or 9 months to come up, because we're right in Q4, okay? We're shooting this video on November 15th, 2018, and you don't want in Q4 for an old complaint that you could have dealt with without being in a rush to all of a sudden cause a suspension like this particular seller. If you get an IP complaint, if you get a rights owner complaint, what should you do? What should the seller do immediately upon getting that email?
Right, so the first thing you should do is always contact the rights owner directly. Now that can be through us, you can do it on your own. The best way is to get a retraction.
Now hold on, let's take a step back. In that email to you, when you received the rights owner complaint, when you received that intellectual property right complaint, whether it was baseless or it was not baseless, they gave you the email address of who made that complaint. That's who you need to contact. And my idea on this, as soon as you get it, even before you call us, is to write an email to that person. I received the complaint. We take it very seriously. Okay, we'll be back in touch. And then either you can try and handle it yourself, or you can hire us or another law firm to deal with it. The one thing you should not do, and I can't stress this enough, and I don't care who the consultant is, if they are not a lawyer, they should not be screwing around with any intellectual property complaints on either side of the table. Okay? But as soon as you get that email, recognize it. There's someone on the other side of that email who's trying to do their job as well. Show them the respect that you received it and that you're going to get back to them and you're taking it seriously. That will set the stage for the negotiations as the case proceeds. Okay? Now, when we handle that, we look at the complaint, right? And then we write a letter identifying whether we do or do not think there is any intellectual IP issue, correct?
Exactly. So as CJ said, you have the exact ASIN, you have the complaint email address. We reach out. We research the ASIN to see if there actually is a basis, and if we can't find one, we request the basis. Now that's basically the first step. Sometimes it could be filed in error, so if you don't address it, you wouldn't even know that. You reach out, and sometimes it's as simple as just contacting them, and a lot of times they're good people on the other side. They're not always they're not always doing something to harm your business purposefully.
Now, while we think you should use a lawyer, we also don't want you to think it's rocket science, okay? There are 4 categories of intellectual property issues in the United States. That's it, 4 categories. In our letter, we identify all 4, and we explain why there's no trademark violation, why you didn't violate anybody's copyright, why there's no trade dress violation, and there's no patent issue. Okay, and that's what we do. We identify the 4 categories of IP issues, we identify why you are not violating them, and we ask for a retraction. Now, usually you'll either get a retraction, okay, or you will get, there's 3 possibilities: a retraction, a silence, no response, or an FU saying we're not withdrawing the complaint for whatever reason.
Correct.
Now, how do we handle it when we have someone who didn't violate anybody's intellectual property rights, and they are either silent, which we usually don't get, but a lot of sellers do, or they refuse to withdraw? What's the next step that we take?
So the next step is to contact Amazon directly. So we appeal the complaint. Again, we review everything before drafting our appeal. And for example, if it's a trademark complaint, we discuss why it's not infringing or why we believe the complaint was filed in error.
What we also do, we'll write the plan of action for you to submit to notice dispute. We will ghostwrite it for you, and what's it going to refer to? Our own legal opinion letter. So when Amazon staff gets us in Hyderabad or Bangalore or Costa Rica or Ireland, they're not only getting a really well-written plan of action that's concise and persuasive, they're also receiving a lawyer's opinion letter, okay? And we do plenty of these. we're pretty confident those guys in India have seen our opinions before, and we believe we get the respect of the people on the other side. We certainly do from Amazon's counsel when we go to arbitrations. So first thing is try and get a withdrawal of the complaint on your own. The second step, if you receive one of these complaints, and again, you don't want to leave these on your account until it's a problem, you want to get rid of them, is to write to notice dispute. And the third, especially if the person or the company that made a complaint is clearly located outside the United States, if it's a copyright complaint, you can serve a counter notice under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and tell that complainant located in China or Vietnam or India that they can either start a lawsuit against you, which most likely they will not, or the complaint's going to disappear. If you'd like to learn more about intellectual property issues, especially if you are receiving baseless intellectual property right complaints, we have a whole series of videos that you can watch. You can also call me and speak with me. You can write to me and I will respond. You can call or write to David and he will respond to you. Feel free, we provide free consultations to sellers all over the world every single day of the week. Thank you for watching, and if you have learned something from this video, please like it and please share it. Thank you.